Silence is usually misunderstood. Most people see it as hesitation, uncertainty, lack of confidence. That is because most silence is accidental. Strategic silence is different. It is chosen. When you do not speak immediately, you interrupt momentum. Momentum is what pulls people into reaction. Arguments escalate because words stack. Disrespect grows because responses are rushed. Control is lost because silence is avoided. Strategic silence breaks this chain. Not by withdrawing, by refusing to be accelerated. When someone provokes you, they expect movement, a reply, a defense, an explanation. Silence denies that expectation. This is not passivity, it is refusal to be led. Silence held deliberately forces the situation to slow down. The other person must sit with what they said. They must carry the weight of it. This changes power dynamics immediately. Words spoken in haste hand control to the other side. Silence takes it back. The Stoics understood this clearly. They did not rush to answer disrespect. They did not hurry to correct insult. They allowed space to do the work. Because silence exposes intent. When you do not react, provocation loses camouflage. What remains becomes obvious. This is why strategic silence feels uncomfortable to undisciplined minds. It removes distraction. It reveals motives. It shows who is seeking control and who already has it. If silence feels difficult for you, it is not because it is weak, it is because it demands self-command. In the next phase, we will examine what happens when silence meets pressure from others and how composure is maintained when respect is tested directly. Power struggles depend on reaction. Someone provokes, someone waits, someone measures your movement. The moment you react, the exchange becomes active. Silence interrupts this immediately. Without reaction, there is nothing to engage. Most social pressure works by forcing momentum. Respond now, explain now, defend yourself now. Silence rejects that pace. This is the mechanism. When you remain silent, feedback disappears. No emotional signal, no justification, no escalation. The other person loses orientation. They cannot tell if the provocation worked, if it failed, if it should continue. This uncertainty weakens their leverage, not through intimidation, but through non-participation. Silence collapses the interaction from a contest into exposure. Attention shifts from your reaction to their behavior. This is uncomfortable for anyone seeking dominance through pressure, because silence reveals intent. Without your response, the motive behind the remark becomes visible. Strategic silence also protects structure. It prevents emotion from acting before judgment is restored. Authority stays internal, while pressure remains external. This is why silence feels powerful. It stops the transfer of control. You are no longer answering pressure. Pressure must adjust to you. In the next phase, we will apply this silence at the exact moment respect is tested and show how composure is held when provocation becomes personal. Silence has power only when it has structure. Unstructured silence is hesitation. Structured silence is position. Most people go quiet because they are unsure. That silence collapses inward. Strategic silence is different. It is chosen from clarity, not from confusion. This is the distinction. Structured silence has form. It is held deliberately. It has duration. It has intent. You are not retreating. You are occupying space without filling it. This changes perception immediately. Others do not sense uncertainty. They sense stability. Because posture remains steady, attention remains internal, presence does not shrink. This is why silence can carry more authority than speech. Speech exposes position, silence preserves it. When you speak, your position becomes open to negotiation. When you remain silent, your position stays intact. This is not avoidance, it is containment. Containment prevents escalation by refusing to add energy. The situation must settle around your stillness. This is how silence becomes structure, not by saying nothing, but by holding form. If silence ever feels weak, it is not because silence lacks power, it is because structure is missing. In the next phase, we will apply this structure to moments of direct challenge and show how silence holds when respect is deliberately tested. Strategic silence is tested when respect is challenged. A remark crosses a line, a tone sharpens, a slight is implied. This is where most people speak too soon, not because they choose to, but because silence feels risky. The instinct is to correct, to defend, to push back. This instinct hands over control. Application begins by holding the line. When disrespect appears, do not rush to clarify. Do not rush to respond. Do not rush to restore balance with words. Hold silence, not loosely, deliberately. Your posture remains unchanged. Your attention stays internal. Your presence does not retreat. This silence is not passive, it is anchored. You are allowing the moment to reveal itself. Disrespect depends on reaction. Without reaction, it loses direction. The other person must now carry the weight of what they said. Often they adjust, they soften, they explain. You did nothing. The silence did the work. If words are required, they come later. Brief, clear, without charge. Silence creates the space where control is restored before speech occurs. This is how composure is protected when provocation is personal. Not by dominance, by refusing to be accelerated. In the final phase, we will integrate this silence into identity and show how calm authority is maintained without confrontation, explanation, or loss of self-command. At this stage, silence must become identity. Not a tactic you remember, a posture you inhabit. You are no longer someone who reacts to disrespect. You are someone who decides when words are permitted. Provocation may appear, tone may sharpen, boundaries may be tested. None of this forces speech, because silence is no longer absence, it is authority. You do not rush to defend dignity. You do not argue for respect. You do not explain yourself into control. You let moments expose themselves. This is calm power. Silence becomes the space where judgment stabilizes before action is chosen. When words arrive, they are few. They are precise. They end the matter. This is how self-command is preserved without confrontation, not through dominance, through composure that cannot be pulled. This completes the arc, from discipline of desire to restraint in speech to silence as structure. You are no longer managing reactions, you are holding position. That is the Stoic Titan mind. In the next phase, we will turn directly toward moments where respect is challenged openly and show how control is maintained without escalation, submission, or loss of inner authority.